What can I say? I'm always right. When I call these things, and I'm just like, hey, something's gonna happen on that Halloween. Halloween. So I believe it's called Dearborn, Michigan, right? But a place in Michigan. Actually, I'm not 100% keen. All right, gonna do some last minute, you know, checking up on the terrorist attack. Terror attack. So it is multiple people arrested. Okay, so I don't know if they're just saying Michigan. Um, Michigan, Michigan. Okay, let me just read the tweet from Kash Patel. Yo, I'm giving these Hindus shit, but I'm saying like, yo, just some, right? Like, no, yo, most Hindus are actually like really cool people. Unlike the Sikhs and the Muslims. Oh man, and like yo, just my other like I think two posts before, not my last video, like two videos before. I'm like, oh my god, the Hindus, they'll betray you, right? You can't trust them. But then like Kash Patel came through and saved countless people. Like most, I think it was kids to be fair. A violent attack over the Halloween weekend. They were allegedly plotting a violent attack. Thanks to the men and women of the FBI and law enforcement everywhere for standing guard 24/7 and crushing our mission to defend the homeland. Why in the hell would terrorists do this? And then Grok responds with terrorist strike to sow fear, advance twisted ideologies, or retaliate against perceived injustices, often fueled by radical indoctrination that glorifies violence as a path to power or paradise. Group exploits grievances, recruits from the disaffected, and aims to disrupt societies. That's very, very Yo, dude, his girlfriend's hot, man. Holy shit. Yo, Kash Patel's girlfriend is really fucking pretty, man. Like, really, really pretty. I'm just scrolling down seeing this, like, oh my god. Do you want me to care about him using 10,000 per hour to use the government? He's CIA director or whatever. He's like the top guy. So, like, of course he's gonna need a little bit more protection than your average, military or upper branch government worker Joe. He's the top guy. And good on him. Good on Kash Patel for like saving those people in Michigan. Now, is it Dearborn, Michigan? I'm actually like trying to figure this out because that's what everyone's complaining about. The whole colony, as they call it, Dearborn, Michigan. There's too many Muslims. There's too many this, too many that. And I'm like, well, apparently there is now, right? Because these assailants, they don't want to name them. Okay, most likely because they want to have an ironclad court case, and then using this is me paraphrasing American law, so obviously I'm going to get it wrong. So from my point of view, if these are youth offenders and then like maybe one or two of them are 19, 20, um, most likely there could be a chance that this is their first offense. And if it's their first offense and then their names are dragged through like the media and all that stuff, they're gonna get let off the hook. They're gonna get a slap on the wrist. So I'm guessing that, enough's enough. People have to be made examples of, and they're going to be made examples of. That's why you're not getting the names. That's why you're not even getting the ethnicities. The family, they went up with the family. I think they're Pakistani. I could be wrong, though. Could be Somalian. But like, they're wearing the mom's wearing the headdress, the dad's wearing like the long robed clothes and shit. So it's like, yeah, you know where they're from, you know what they're all about, and I honestly thought it would happen with the adults. I really did, because it's like you have the whole sexual anxiety, you have the whole vulnerability. Like, I I actually don't know. I don't know. I don't want to know, but I'm just saying, like, overall, like, I don't know who's more of an easy target, kids or adults. And I always guessed adults because it's like I always think to myself, well, kids have adults protecting them, watching over them, scolding them, you know what I mean, keeping track of them, you know, keeping an eye out on them, you know, making sure like they do well in the classes and stuff. It's like a surrogacy of parenthood when you're talking about like at least elementary and high school to an extent, right? I could be wrong, but you know, whatever, right? Mm. Excuse me. So, what does this mean? Well, going forward, um, we can expect even more terrorist plots and attacks and more like, you know, trying to disrupt because as I reported this and like I took like a while to reporting it, I think this happened like last Saturday, like no, on Saturday, so today's Sunday. And yeah, like this is pretty much, you know, 3:30 p.m. I wanted to actually figure out like the actual ethnicity and like the names and like whether it was the motives, anything at all. But no, they're keeping it super hush hush. So chances are that this is one of those things where they don't want the media, you know, buzzing around and like getting ideas to, you know, copycat. Don't even want to say what they were planning too, eh? That's how like you know what I mean? Like think about it like this, right? If you had a terrorist plot and they said, okay, we're gonna go attack like I don't know a nursing home, a preschool, a daycare, whatever, right? Like someplace like super ultra vulnerable, and then like you get the FBI or whoever like reporting, okay, so we just thwarted this like attack on this like location. Like you're gonna make people stressed out who are there. They're gonna be like, oh my god, they were actually thinking about attacking this place. We never did anything to deserve that, or like why would they do that? Or like how would these people like you know this and that? And it's kind of like the way I see it is like aliens. You know, like if the government knows that aliens exist, but has to rationale people's like reaction to it, like whether or not they're ready for it mentally, physically, whatever, and like use the surrogacy of like, okay, look at these Hollywood films, and then like they either fearmonger you or try to enlighten you, depending on like which movie you're watching, and then yeah, you know, like they make the decision for you, obviously, but then it's like, okay, maybe you don't need to know about aliens. Maybe you don't need to know about these conquest, galaxy conquesting entities with like you know 70 arms and stuff. They're like you know gigantic centipedes and shit. They like you know have mathematical quantum physics or some shit like that, some like unknown crap. So they hide it from you. And then much in the same way, they don't want you to know about this terrorist attack, so they're like, okay, well, we'll just say we stopped it from happening. It happened in this location, in this house. We won't say the names of the individuals or their ethnicity, nationalities, etc. You know, God bless America. And again, like, it's kind of funny too how people will say that all brown people are the same, and it's clearly not the case. Like a guy like Kash Patel is a completely different walk of life from the guys driving the trucks, from the guys, you know, like well, obviously, like he's Hindu and they're like you know Sikh, Muslim, whatever, right? Like I'm pretty sure there are some Hindu truck drivers, but it's like you know like scamming is like one of those things where you want to say it's just like one type of people doing it, but it's like a bunch of people doing it. So when I heard about like how the truck scam was like going on, how like these Sikhs were bringing in like these basically I don't know how to speak English type of guys, like straight out of you know Punjab and shit, come drive this truck, very little to no experience. Like it now makes total sense where they got their money for their cars, where they get their positions for their jobs. It isn't just nepotism; it's their willingness to exploit their own. And this is something that we need to pay attention to because, like I said, like Sikhs have Muslim blood, right? They are consanguineal, if you will. Now, what I'm getting uh, from that is um, when it comes to like terrorism and like all these guys around the world getting pissed off about Palestinians and basically watching the whole machinations of the world, right? Like, so you have like America, and then you have other countries. And as time goes on, every country wants to be like America. They want to have the freedoms, they want to have the guns, they want to have the national pride, something to, pass down to your kids, right? So they all try to basically create their own version of America. So Dubai is a version of America. Abu Dhabi is a version of America. It's like a twisted version of Las Vegas, if you will. And the reason why I bring this up is because they are losing their culture. They are losing their identity. And they are very much pissed off about that because it's not just them. It's like the richest people who are actually related to Muhammad, so actual Arabs and shit, who are doing this, and it's nonstop. It's never ending. Essentially, what's gonna happen is I think these people are gonna realize all around the world that they were being used by um, terrorist groups, by governmental entities, by military forces as as like a kind of ruse, It's like, oh, go conquer Great Britain, go conquer here, go conquer there, right? And meanwhile, maybe these guys have like nothing. They're like super poor, this and that, right? So they get there to these countries, and then what? Lo and behold, right? Like they can't win because they're just like in a constant state of like bickering and like the self-realization that there is not enough to go around. Like there's more guys in the UK now, Muslim guys, than there are Muslim girls. Like vastly more, right? So when you see them lashing out and attacking people, try to understand that like if it wasn't like you being there, nothing would change. Like people who are non-Muslim, they have a target on their backs. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. My asthma medication is making my non-existent asthma act up, man. I drink some of that coconut water. But like, okay, so what was I saying again? Shit. Um, like the bickering and like the infighting that happens is gonna happen regardless of whether or not the Europeans are there. Like it's just um, a quality of their society, mental decay. Like everyone is crazy, so no one's crazy type shit. And you gotta really think about it because these people were like manic and like depressively stupid this entire time. Like you know what I mean? Like we have people around the world who you can call are not like a lost cause for like qualities very much their own like of their own machinations, right? So outside of like their whole financial whatever's right. But in the case of these guys, right? Like there are the rich, there are the poor, but there is the underlying truth. if you have a surplus of guys, right, and you have femicide, as you do in Turkey and possibly other Islamic states, you know, Iran, for instance, so like the human rights violations against women is like almost woefully apparent to the point where you just read about stories after the fact, and like it gets to the point where you're thinking to yourself, if they're like this, like, are they actually homosexual? And I came to that conclusion with Rehab Room, at least, aka Hassan's brother from another mother. They're so fucking alike. And apparently he's Turkish too, which is hilarious. I didn't even know. Like, I thought this whole time he was like, Eritrean or Syrian or some shit like that. No, he's Turkish. And he's like, laughing up a Hassan. Not Hassan, what is his name? Hamza, some other, like, Pakistani guy, right? And I'm like, who is this guy? So he's from, like, the UK and shit. Apparently he's just like the Liver King, but not so bad. Right? Where's the Liver King? He's like a rich person, but he took like, I don't know how much, like tens of thousands of roids per month, and then he was selling like products and, like, selling this fake lifestyle, like coaching plans and shit. So he was making bank off of it. Like Hamza's doing that in like a lesser scale, but he's still doing that. Like, he's like, I'm gonna coach you. I can teach you how to get girls. I can teach you how to work out, this and that. And then it turns out he's on like roids and shit. And the person to expose him was his like literal like cameraman partner. So like you can literally see him there in like some of his videos and shit. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like to like stick my nose in the business of kids and shit. So like, who's this, who's that? Because it's like, you basically this Hamza, to me anyway, is like a kid. But like, I bring him up because so Rehab Room holds this guy in high regard, and I don't know. Does he know that he's on gear? Like, would that even matter? Because it's like, okay, let's say if it doesn't matter, right? Because it's less about the quality of you appreciating as a man and more like a sexual attraction. So that's why I guess it wouldn't matter. But then like you know what I mean? Like I can't think like that, but you have to really rationalize, put your head in their point of view. Like, this is a population of people who have been inbreeding and who've been like sexually repressing their true nature, their desires. Like, because I don't know, when he was showing the video, right, of Hamza and these pictures of his two girlfriends, right? One of them, this girl with glasses, this other one, this like, girl with these emerald eyes. She's actually quite beautiful, right? And then he says that Hamza, for dating these two beautiful women, is dating down. And I'm just like looking at this picture. I'm like, okay, maybe it's subjective, but then I'm like, wait, they're not. They're not unattractive. They're not. There's nothing wrong with them. They're not. They don't have like blemishes. They're not overweight. They're not unhygienic. They're not unkept. Like, maybe you can argue the first picture because she's wearing a hoodie and she's like basically out of frame. So I don't know, but like, yeah, from what I can see, she looks pretty. She was, yeah, glasses. I think she had like red hair or something like that. And like the other girl, like I said, like she had like dark brunette hair. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, oh, dude, what the hell, man? It's like, and this, it's like, I bring it up because it's not the first time he's talked about this guy before. I'm like, whoa, 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 back up for a second, right? And then I thought to myself, damn. So he watches my videos. He knows about Azure videos. He knows that, like, going out to Halloween is gonna be like a bust, you know. But also, it's like, isn't this the end result Like they couldn't just accept who they are. Just all of them, Hassan, Rehab, all these guys, these terrorist guys want to attack these like children or girls or whoever, parties and stuff. It's just like the sad like truth that we averted well, thanks to Cash Patel, we averted a disaster that could have like been one of the like focal points of our lives, a turning point, kind of like 9/11. But thank God it didn't happen.